Heroes vs. Villains is coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Is this a little hint? Blocked content. What's happening, my Block buddies, and welcome to a brand new episode of Blocked Content's Leak Speak. My name is Callum, and this is going to be your content for today. So something really interesting has just cropped up online, and it comes courtesy of Nintendo Australia, New Zealand. So super interesting to talk about because it's some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate news that refers to the tourney, and actually a new event in the tourney matches that just came out with the 4.0 update and Hero that I really want to talk about with you guys, because it talks a little bit about heroes and it talks about villains, and that's of course all that we've talked about before the game came out and all that we theorized on. So this is really interesting to me because it's something that's very close to the thoughts that I had about the game. Even the subtitle for the game I thought would be close to like Super Smash Bros. Heroes or Super Smash Bros. Villains, like two sides of the same story. So I'm super curious to dive a little bit more into this, and for those of you guys who like giveaways, we are giving away 3 Piranha Plant plushies at 50k. So remember to like this video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below to enter for this giveaway. And if you have an original answer or a story, well, let me know and we'll make it happen. Alright guys, let's head right on into this. So if we look at this post, first of all, I just want to mention this screenshot. It's amazingly awesome, and it basically shows a whole lot of dark stuff happening over here. It has, a bunch of the heroes from the Smash Bros. Universe, and of course the villains in the background, and a really dark air around it too. I mean, a lot of you guys really wanted a screenshot like this to be closer to the World of Light that we actually got, right? The heroes versus villain theme. Maybe something like Adventure 2 Battle, the Sonic game, where you could actually choose sides. So you could actually choose if you wanted to be the hero side of the story or the dark side, the villain side of the story. And a lot of you guys actually wanted Smash Bros. Ultimate to be that way, right? To actually be able to choose which side. And then we speculated, well, there have to be more kind of villains to come into Super Smash Bros. For that to happen, because we mostly only have the heroes, right? And you can't really have a heroes versus villains if it's kind of off. Well, now we have a lot more villains in Super Smash Bros., courtesy of course, Ridley and King K. Rool, and a lot of other characters that are finally returning after a very long time, like Wolf. So, to me, it's a great chance to do something like this, but even though we have this really awesome idea of a hero versus villains tournament, let's just look at the original tweet saying, the 3-day Super Smash Bros. Ultimate event tourney, heroes versus villains start on 9/8. So that already is super interesting because it's a limited time. This time-limited tourney exclusively features heroic and villainous fighters. It's the ultimate clash of good versus evil. The further you advance, the better the spirit you'll win. So this is not a tourney against computer fighters. I read this as a big global event that you can enter in, which would be really amazing if you could only choose certain characters that are in the roster. So either some characters are blacked out or grayed out, or some characters just don't show up on that character select screen, which would be really, really cool, because that would basically mean maybe your main isn't in there and you just have to rely on some of the heroic fighters, like, the Fox, Link, the hero, of course, being a big hero. Characters like Cloud are, of course, also among these heroes. Mario, I would say Luigi's one too, but they probably do the big hero per franchise, which here is, of course, Super Mario. So, to me, endless possibilities here, but definitely interesting if you think about the fact we all thought the theme for this Switch Smash Brothers would be heroes versus villains from the start. So this was coming from a very long time. And of course, it ended up being Ultimate, and some of the, screenshots and some of the early footage actually hinted it towards, being heroes versus villains, even going so far as having the trailer for King K. Rool, of course, be very villainous, and of course also the Simon Belmont thing with the, the ghost with the Psy. I all thought that was super interesting, and could it hint to the next fighters or next content in the game, right? This is a thing that has popped up with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the longest time, even way before the game launched, even way before the game was, even in our zeitgeist. So more heroes, you could think of the character Monster Hunter. That, I think, is a definite giveaway if you are doing a more heroes versus villain theme, right? Monster Hunter is up there and already has a boss in the game. I mean, we have Rathalos, which I always thought was super interesting, right? It's a character kind of like some stages in the game where it's like Electroplankton, of course, doesn't really have a character in the game, but for me, that franchise, the Monster Hunter franchise, having Rathalos in there as a fully formed model with animations, and it's basically one of the big bosses in the game, right? It's, I think, the first big boss you encounter also in the World of Light mode. So to have Monster Hunter in there would only make sense to kind of, become full circle. It's also another Capcom rep, which I think would make a lot of sense, and it fits within this more heroes and more villains theory that we have. Now, of course, the idea here is that there may be more villains coming too. So right now in the Fighters Pass, we actually have quite a lot of heroic characters, and no pun intended, because Hero is one of them. And I think Joker, of course, is a little bit of a dodgy character, right? It's a little bit of a dodgy question, but I feel like that definitely is considered a hero as well. And Banjo-Kazooie, of course, the two heroes of that franchise, that completely makes sense. So what could happen is the final two fighters could either be big heroes from franchises, right? Big main characters and not some like side character like a Waddle Dee or something like that, but definitely mainstays of a franchise. Think of, a Crash Bandicoot or Ryu Hayabusa, something like that. That's, the two picks that I've always been gunning for. But also, what could happen, they can't really splice it down the middle because it's 5 characters. But what they could definitely do is do the last two fighters, being these villainous characters. We even had Piranha Plant as the bonus character, so you could basically say there are 6 fighters, right, in total. And we have 3 sort of hero fighters, and now the final 2 and Piranha Plant could be considered bad guys, or at least kind of villainous characters. I feel like that would be adequate, right? That would be a really fun idea. But if we talk about villains, there's another way that they come into Super Smash Bros., and that's as bosses, of course. Easily there could definitely be a Dragon Quest boss character coming to the game, and I think that franchise is full of great things to come from it, not even from Dragon Quest XI, which is coming to Switch, but also the idea here is to look back at the franchise's history and maybe get some characters from the older games to, appear in this one. And of course we have for Banjo and Kazooie, Gruntilda. Grunty is appearing in that stage, but could also appear as a boss in the game. We've already at length talked about the idea of Spiral Mountain being the stage, but then with a bridge to Grunty's, cavern, that could almost certainly be a boss area, because how would the bridge extend? That almost looks like a cutscene right there, so that makes sense. And one of the biggest theories out there, of course, is that Porky, or some sort of Earthbound content, has not shown up in Smash Bros. As of yet. Porky or Gygus, something like that, is definitely still bound to happen, either as a spirit challenge or something like that. So Porky is yet to show up, could also be playable. I think that the chances for that are not that huge, but also, of course, a boss, because famously, Porky was also a boss in the Subspace Emissary in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. So all this combined, to me feels like they're definitely heading in that direction for the content, right? When the content is sent out and everyone knows who all the fighters will be, maybe we'll look back and say, oh yeah, that whole heroes versus villains theme that we all thought the game would kind of have in a big scale definitely ended up happening. I think that there is a chance that will happen. I will definitely be playing the heroes versus villains tourneys, so if you're out there, let's play it together. Maybe we should stream it here on Blocked Content together, so let's have some fun together in those tourneys, and let's play some Super Smash Brothers. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys think of this whole heroes versus villains, either like the tournament or the idea that this could pan out to be characters and even bosses. I'd love to hear what you guys think of this. If you comment down below, you could be featured in our next video. And today's comment question is, do you think we are getting more villains? So let me know in the comments down below. As for our previous comment question winner, our answer comes to us from James Stark, and I've actually pinned this comment because I thought it was so interesting to read. He talks about Miyamoto, the Mario franchise, and Paper Mario, saying,
I feel like Paper Mario is proof of Miyamoto holding Mario back. Super Paper Mario was great, but the rest have been okay at best. Fans have said over and over that we want something like Thousand Year Door again, but he's insisted that doing something like that again would be boring. I agree with back in 2007. Yeah, maybe it would, but it's been like 15 years since, and it'd be great to have that again. Plus, Sticker Star and Color Splash are essentially the same, just Color Splash has better writing. I don't know how he thinks the original gameplay would be boring.
So thank you so much, James Stark. That's interesting to read because I do think that Miyamoto has a lot of influence over games that I feel would be better suited to have their own director and their own entire vision, right? I think Miyamoto is a genius in game design, and I think he should definitely never retire ever in the world because his ideas can sprout from something really small and end up being huge, and the ramifications for the gaming universe could be immense. However, I do think that there's a certain segment in the Mario franchise that I feel his presence is not needed at the moment, and that people need to go rampant and crazy with their creativity. So in that sense, I really feel like you're correct there. So if anyone has any thoughts on Miyamoto and the Mario franchise or Paper Mario as a whole, let me know in the comments down below because I want to do a bigger discussion about that and maybe we get some block talk going, right? So thank you guys so much for sending in all your comments. These are a ton of fun to get through, so never stop sending the love. And of course, a huge shout out to our Patreon supporters back at patreon.com/blockedcontent. We've just had a wave of new subscribers coming in. That's super awesome. And also, of course, here on YouTube with the join function, so you can actually become a member. I've not formally talked about this yet, and I probably will in a separate video, but you can actually get special blocked content emojis. If you've seen me in the chat, I use them quite a lot. The plant boy emoji, the little blocked character emoji, and of course hype. So hope that you guys will either join or donate through Patreon, because any way you slice it, you get awesome rewards. Like you get to decide what a video is about, you get to, live stream with us, you get to be in discussions, or get yourself created as a blocked content character. So there's a bunch of incredible rewards both at the join button and at blocked content down at patreon.com/blockedcontent. They're waiting for you. And remember, if you're not yet a member of the blocked content family yet, super easy, join us now. Click the subscribe button and ring the bell next to it for all the notifications. So all the news and the fun and the leak speak you care about will be delivered daily to you. I'm going right back ahead working on the new Snake codec, which is a really interesting one and one that you guys have been asking for a very long time. So we might be thinking about doing season 2. Hope you guys are ready. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys around the corner where there's always more blocked content. See ya.